Just to relieve the stress. You know what I mean? It's a stress reliever.
And here we have...
That's Space Force.
That's the Space Force, yeah.
That's the beginning of Space Force. Watch this.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Look, we've all seen those awkward moments when Melania swats away Trump's hand, or that smile dropping when she thinks cameras aren't watching. We cringe because we recognize that uncomfortable body language. We've seen it in toxic relationships before. That's exactly what made Jimmy Kimmel and Jim Carrey's comedy segment so powerful.
And so you just kind of digest the news of the day.
It's an affirmation.
I'm glad some good is coming out of this stuff. This is Robert Mueller.
Robert Mueller putting the squeeze on the president.
And why Trump exploded in response. They articulated what many of us have been thinking, but couldn't quite put into words about the Trump marriage. Today, we're analyzing how these comedians tapped into our collective observations and why Trump's reaction reveals more truth than the jokes themselves did. Even though Trump can handle most jokes, this one between Kimmel and Carrey hit him hard. Have you ever noticed that some comedians make Trump laugh while others make him scream? This is because most comedians only make fun of his policies or hair. But Kimmel and Carrey did something much worse. They made fun of both his marriage and his ego. These two made the perfect storm of comedy. Kimmel's humor is dry and snarky, and he doesn't even laugh at his own jokes. Carrey, on the other hand, is like a human cartoon, whose face can turn into funny putty.
You try and you try and you give it all. You give it all to her.
When you put them together, you get a funny bomb that not even the orange turd could miss. A lot of political artists focus on dull topics like failed policies or contradictions. Oh no. However, these people went right for Trump's weak spot, his desire to look like a strong man with a hot wife who likes him. Trump doesn't mind being called dishonest or stupid, but this idea that his wife can't stand him, that's when Trumpy the Grumpy shows up. The pizza menu joke Kimmel told was very easy, but very funny. He said that Trump's style of running the country was like a restaurant whose menu changes every 15 minutes depending on how the owner feels. Today we have the fired supreme with extra chaos, or maybe try our conflicting statement stuffed crust. It made so much sense that people couldn't stop laughing. Everyone has been to that one sketchy place where nothing works right, and all of a sudden, they got what it's like when Trump runs a country. It wasn't just funny, it made something hard to understand, like how the government works, so easy that even your grandmother could understand it. Kimmel didn't use big political words. He talked about pizza. Smart as hell. He took Trump's mess of a government and served it up like someone forgot to order a pepperoni pizza. Jokes on the internet get around faster than Trump's lies. This part got millions of views in just a few hours on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Trump couldn't get away from it. When everyone is laughing, his normal trick of calling something fake news doesn't work. Reporters can be blocked by the White House, but millions of people sharing funny videos can't be blocked. Then Carrey made things even better. He started by making funny faces, but then he got serious about how Trump made lying and being mean seem normal. It was like when the class clown says something smart and everyone stands still. It took more than jokes to get that mix of silly and important things across. The way they did things worked so well because they used fun like a ninja. Not only were they making jokes, but they were also criticizing important things in those jokes. It's like when your mom put veggies in the food you like. Trump had already taken the medicine with the candy by the time he noticed what was going on. Their jokes were great as a Trojan horse. As the show ends, viewers may reflect, wait, that's actually a good point about this guy. And Trump supporters may not watch real news shows, but they still watch funny videos. When criticism is wrapped in jokes that people want to share, that's what kills him. The really shocking thing is that none of these policy issues were what made Trump go nuclear. He is used to hearing that he is bad at being president. What they said about Donnie Diaper's marriage really annoyed him. They really did go there. People laughed out loud when Kimmel showed clips of Melania pushing Trump's hand away for the 100th time. A lot of people lost it when Carrey played Trump trying to hold Melania's hand while she pulled away, like she had touched a hot stove. It wasn't just a joke. They were drawing attention to something that everyone can see, but no one in Trump's group is brave enough to say his wife doesn't seem to like him very much. And that's the kind of thing that makes Trump tweet in a rage at 3 a.m. Not about foreign policy or economics, just the fact that two famous men said his wife seems to dislike him as much as the rest of America does. Trump can handle being called a bad boss in the end, but being called such a bad husband that his prize wife turns away from him, that gets to the heart of him. What do people say when they say that Trump's wife looks like she'd rather be somewhere else when he's around? There's no joke that hurts more than this one. People can call Trump stupid or dishonest. To say that Melania can't stand him, when that happens, people start tweeting. The first thing Carrey and Kimmel did was focus on all the weird times we've all seen Melania have. At public events, she stands 3 feet away from him and swats his hand away like he has the plague. She also has those frozen smiles that disappear faster than ice cream in July when she thinks the cameras have stopped rolling. They weren't made up jokes, they were just pointing out real events. What really hit home was when Carrey said that Trump's marriage was capitalism without conscience. Oh no, he said that their relationship is just a business deal and that neither of them is having fun. It got even worse when Kimmel joked that Melania's book smelled like Slovenian prenup ink. Everyone in the crowd went crazy because they were thinking the same thing. But these guys said it out loud. To make this joke, you can't just say that Trump's policies are bad. People who make fun of his immigration rules or tax cuts can be called stupid leftists, who don't understand politics, he says. But when they make fun of the fact that his wife doesn't want to touch him, there's no way to get back at them. Even Trump, who is always complaining, wants people to think that his wife likes him. There were clips of all the times Melania looked like she was stuck in her job as First Lady. Remember how she almost jumped away when Trump tried to grab her hand during that trip to Israel? Or those Christmas videos from the White House where she decorated trees with all the rush of someone getting a root canal. There were comedians who just pointed out these times, and people laughed so hard because they were so familiar. Trump treats everyone like they're part of a deal, which is what all these jokes about Melania are about. Everyone around him, his friends, workers, wives, and children, is only there to make him look good or make money. His marriage was used by artists to show how he sees the world. What can this person do for me? The best part, defense lawyers for Trump couldn't say the jokes were fake news because there were videos of the jokes that everyone knew about. You can find those hand swats all over YouTube. I've seen those frozen smiles a million times. They couldn't say that the left media changed the video because it was live TV. People who supported the orange turd looked silly when they tried to defend him. The point of making fun of Trump's marriage wasn't just to have fun, it was also very political. How can a man run a country if he can't even make his wife happy? What does the fact that his best friend is cold and fake say about the way he treats regular Americans? The private turned into the public, and Trump couldn't get out of it. Trump can act like it doesn't bother him when people say he's dishonest. When people say he's not good at what he does, he can act tough. But being called such a bad husband that his own wife can't stand him, that really hurts my pride. When it comes to Donnie Diapers, he really wants everyone to think that he's a big, strong man that women love. These jokes made him look like a creepy old man that his prize wife puts up with for the money. That's why he went crazy. And what did Trump say? In the way you'd expect, by making personal attacks on Kimmel. He said Kimmel begged him to be on his show one time to make himself look important. A very Trump move. He tried to make Kimmel look desperate instead of talking about the jokes. That was funny, but this proved everything they said about his thin skin. Why are you so mad if the jokes were only half true? More people watched the funny part because of every angry tweet. Every rejection made people think more about the awkward times she had with Melania. Someone saying, "Don't look at my bad haircut," makes everyone look at that. Trump tried to fight back, but it made things worse for him. People began to doubt his claims that he was having marriage problems more and more. Funny things can really hurt people like Trump, as this whole episode showed. People who are mean to you can be ignored, but people who are just making fun of you are harder to ignore. Even more so when they're laughing about something that might be true. What scares guys like Trump the most? It's not real political opponents taking the stage in fancy clothes and giving long speeches. They make people laugh by being funny. Comedy gets rid of all the fake big guy stuff and shows what's really going on, which is the reason Donnie Diapers was so mad. What this whole thing teaches us is that leaders, even the ones who look tough, have weak spots. Trumpy's unhappy marriage is what makes him angry. Think about what the joke showed the next time a politician goes crazy over something funny. It hurts more when everyone laughs at the truth than when it's true.